Alright, let's begin. Key concept behind this is training your body, your muscles, your mind, and your spirit, and all the aspects of your being to act as one unified system. A lot of times I find I can go too fast, but it's more beneficial a lot of the times to convey slow fluid movement rather than it is to actually go as quick as possible or almost use it based on just pure speed or agility like you would in martial arts. I do this practice not for martial arts so much as it is for just a state of connecting with my body. When I do this practice, my aim is not to perfect any kind of movement specifically or style or any technique that would be similar to a systematic form of expression. Like in boxing, maybe you have double jab cross or jab cross hook. This is not so much textbook. This is more learning how to express your body with martial arts in the purest form of what martial arts is, self-expression. And to achieve that is surrendering to the flow and allowing your body to learn on its own. Allowing your body to learn on its own is more of an aspect of this than it would be to try and conceptualize, am I doing this right? Am I doing this movement? Maybe I should do this combination. Right now, my mind, which would be thinking all those things, is having a conversation. The conscious mind is having a conversation right now. And I'm just allowing the body, the subconscious, to express itself. And remember, don't think in terms of right or wrong with this, in terms of, no, am I doing this right, am I doing this wrong? The main aspect of this practice is, remember, to allow your body to express itself rather than there being a right or wrong way to do that. A lot of times we think in terms of right and wrong or in terms of achieving some specific type of outcome. But when it comes to training, a way to express oneself in alignment with that state of whatever it is that you are attempting to achieve is through go by the wayside, simply allowing the intuitive wisdom of your body to express itself in its full capacity. And then over time, if you practice it, slow, melodically, with rhythm, with the intention of allowing your body to express itself, you can acquire a new skill from scratch. When I first picked up this piece of wood, I had no training at all. I simply just allowed myself to express myself through my body and express the full capacity that it was capable of. So my point is that martial arts at its purest sense is self-expression. And we talked about last time, I don't know if I uploaded this actually, but we talked about, or I talked about anyway, the fundamental aspect to martial arts that is a lot of the times overlooked is the aspect that at its very core nature, it's based around the concept of cultivating awareness and then expressing yourself from that state of objective awareness. So, if one is seeking to understand how to maneuver in an environment, you must first be aware of an environment. There is no point in expressing yourself in an environment that you do not understand or you're not objective of. If you have a preconceived notion about how that environment works, you're not in a place of learning, you're not in a place to express yourself objectively because you're running off a preconceived notion or intention or some kind of subconscious imprint, which is not the real reality. It's a constructed one in your mind, which will replay itself like a tape. So this is why, when it comes to martial arts, I find that personally for me, I started learning boxing when I was 16, before any of the other martial arts. So I've had about 7 years of practice since then to explore martial arts. And I find that the more you can diverge from what you think you know and allow yourself to continue learning every moment and understand that you don't have to be a textbook fighter, jab, cross, hook, whatever. You can simply allow yourself to act upon opportunity, and by acting upon opportunity, you then allow your body to express itself in its fullest state. And by doing that, you connect to the present moment rather than playing the skills that you've learned over and over again. So you start from the beginning every time. And that's what it means to be present in the present moment. That's what it means to learn, to continue learning as a martial artist, because you must always be learning in order to improve. And that takes a certain sense of humility. And that's why we don't see great martial artists or great fighters in these sports the same way we used to back in the golden age of Ali and Frazier and all those guys or Jack Dempsey or any of those big fighters, or even Tyson. You know, he came after, but the point is you don't see any of those type of fighters anymore because the philosophical or the spiritual aspect of the art has been somewhat lost. And with that coming of the overinflation of the ego, you lose that sense of being able to humble yourself or have humility. And it's not saying that you have to have humility before the opponent, but you have to have humility before yourself, so you can understand that everything is a constant learning process. If you don't have that, then, well, I mean, the only thing I'm reminded of right now is a quote by Bruce Lee when he was, it was in this movie, and what what was the line? Like everyone else, you want to learn the way to win, but never to accept the way to lose. To learn to die, to be reborn is to be liberated from it. So when tomorrow comes, you must free your ambitious mind and learn the art of dying. And that is a constant process that always takes place within us. Regardless of what is going on in life, something is always coming to life and something is always dying. That process is constantly going on within us, rebirth. So understanding that letting go is not surrendering. If anything, is quite the contrast. It takes quite a mighty warrior to hold up a sword that must always be swung from the awareness that is cultivated in the present moment. Because it means that you are not acting off of just your preconceived notions of martial arts, your training or whatever, but you are learning as you move through the world. So that is essentially what I have for you today. And I can't really put it any better than that, but you know, when you cultivate that to its fullest potential, it will then become instinct. It will then become instinct, and I'm not going to say, like, you know, that will confirm that you will be like Goku and be able to master Ultra Instinct or, you know, some kind of flow state akin to that, but you're certainly be able to get a whole lot closer to a state akin to that by freeing your mind than you will by imprisoning it by your own ego, which has just preconceived notions about how you should move and act in every situation. So, understanding that facilitating that constant state of learning is imperative to being a martial artist who constantly evolves is something to note. And again, this is just an exercise for you to get your brain synchronizing, your heart synchronizing, and you to coherently project that into the field. So this is what I have for you today. This has been the Sword of Mercury. Let me know if you enjoyed in the comments below. Like and subscribe. I thank you for your support, and thanks for watching.